What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. The Lakers get the big time win tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to give everybody a chance to hop on in here. A fun night over on the YouTube channel and on Twitter. All right, make sure we are up and rolling. Luka Doncic. I mean, first off, guys, how about Nico Harrison? I think we all need to take a collective round of applause, if you will, while we're introing the show. A collective round of applause to Nico Harrison, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's give it up to Nico Harrison. Nico, love you, buddy. You are valued and you are loved here in Laker Nation. Big time win. Welcome in, everybody. Lakers have clinched the playoff spot, and they are now one win away from winning 50 games for the first time since 2020. The last time the Lakers won 50 games was when the Lakers won an NBA championship. I'm Sean Davis. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe here to the channel and hit that post notification bell as well so you never miss a Lakers video. We have now posted, I think, 4 days in a row. Now, let's see if we keep that stretch going. And this is going to count towards my Thursday post, I think. Although, yeah, I mean, there's some news they'll drop. I'm sure we'll talk about that as well. Let's set the like goal. We'll set it at 100 likes for tonight's stream. Such a fun game, such a big win. And we'll also have some standings watch as well. So be a friend, tell a friend. Let's get everybody in here. Super chats are the number one guaranteed way to make sure you get your question answered live on the show and directly supports myself and the channel. Let's see. Let's see if we have any post-game reaction. But first, let's get to the box score, man. Luka Doncic, shout out to Dallas. I think I actually kind of want to start the show off like that. I think Dallas, in terms of like their ops and the fans, handled that as about as well as I think they possibly could have. To be completely honest with you, the tribute video was super, super touching, and it just shows the raw emotion that Luka still has. And you could tell, man, that he really, 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 really was planning on retiring a Maverick, to be completely honest with you. And you still kind of feel for Luka. I'm not even gonna say kind of. You still feel for Luka, but damn, does it feel good to have Luka Doncic in a Laker jersey. Luka Doncic tonight, 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. Shot 16 of 28 from the field, 7 of 10 from 3, 6 of 9 from the line. So even left some points off the board, just being a little generous, if you will, to the Mavs. Luka Doncic was a plus 26 in tonight's game. LeBron James was the second leading scorer with 27 points and 7 rebounds. He shot 11 for 20. LeBron did not make a 3, but LeBron is arguably having a clutch player of the year resume. It's really going to come down to, like, I think it's going to be him, Brunson. I think Jokic has an argument really quickly. If I were to look clutch win probability added. Last time I checked, when I did this for Hoop Venue, I want to say Jokic was 1. No, it was Brunson. Brunson was 1. Brunson was number 1 in terms of clutch win probability added. Yeah, Jokic was 1. Number 2, not even that far behind, was actually LeBron. So LeBron has absolutely had a caliber season worthy of the clutch player of the year at 40 years old. And while we're on the topic of LeBron, I might as well just, really quickly touch on this. Can Twitter stop overreacting to LeBron having a suspect first 3 quarters in the 80th regular season game? Can we stop doing this at this point? The gap really quickly, the gap between Braun and who in the number 3 spot is significantly larger than Braun and Brunson, who's 1. The clutch win probability at is 3.71 for Brunson. Bronze is 3.65. Number 3 on this list is Jokic at 3.26. So, needless to say, LeBron's having a clutch player of the year campaign. But everybody's complaining, oh, man, we're going to need this version of LeBron for the playoffs and yada, yada, yada. Can LeBron get to the rim still? Can LeBron get back on track? Can LeBron do this? Can he do that? Yada, 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 yada. And for crying out loud, man, that fourth quarter, when they started off that fourth quarter, even the end of the third a little bit too, it was so rough. It was rough watching the Lakers half-court offense in the fourth at the end of the third quarter and at the start of the we're going to send a tweet out here for the stream as well. Once again, guys, hit that like button. Trying to get 100 likes on the stream. With I now completely I lost my train. Oh, okay, yeah. The third quarter offense at the end with the Luka group, very much so. Luka, go ahead and switch on lineup. I'm sorry, not switch on. Go ahead and try to mismatch hunt and get a good look at the rim. And I think Gay missed a couple threes. I know for sure Dorian Finney-Smith missed one. Jordan Goody, he dropped the pass that should have been a wide open shot attempt that just went out of bounds. But despite the fact, the Lakers, I thought in the fourth quarter, specifically when Braun got back in the game, was significantly more attached, more attached offensively. They were playing in way more of a rhythm on the offensive end of the floor once Braun got back in the game in the fourth quarter. And then even when Luka got back, they started to run more organized offense. They started getting real looks, and then LeBron was just getting downhill at the to the rim against every single player the Mavs threw at him. Fish fried Derek Lively on one possession. Daniel Gaffer was too small. Had the ridiculous. It might be the same possession I'm talking about with Lively. Had the ridiculous switching hands reverse layup. LeBron in the fourth quarter was phenomenal. I want to say he had 14 fourth quarter points in this game. And again, it kind of comes back to what I said the other day. Is even if the Lakers don't win a title, there will not be a scenario in which there is a playoff series the Lakers go into, and I'm like, yep, I'm going into every single playoff series with the mindset of I don't know how the hell they're gonna beat Braun, Luka, and AR 4 times. Like whoever is able to do that, deserves to win an NBA championship because that is ridiculously high level of offensive creation. And God forbid the Lakers can solve a switching defense. And I don't know how you stop those guys. You can't put 2 on the ball because Dallas tried to go to that with Luka and even Braun a little bit. And Austin, was able to attack out of the short roll. They love to use Austin as an inverted screener. And it works so well because Austin is such a good playmaker, especially with the numbers advantage. That's how Braun got an and one layup on Lively actually out of that. Being able to play out of the numbers advantage, playing out with a 3-on-2 and coming with the slot cut. And then tonight is even a good example of this. But then if you get those games where Dorian Finney-Smith is 4 for 7 from 3, you get Rui 3 for 7 from 3 tonight. Gabe Vincent, if he has one of his more particularly hot shooting nights. By the way, Dorian Finney-Smith was a plus 29 in this game as well. So shout out Dorian Finney-Smith. But you have this elite of elite self-creation from your 3 perimeter stars. And then if you get the role players, I put a tweet out about this on X. I don't know if I have to say that X at this point. I put a tweet out at @shot_DAVI. Essentially, the tweet was, look, if the Lakers are going to win a title, it's going to come down to Rui, Gabe, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Jackson Hayes. because I essentially think that the playoffs is going to be a legit 7-man rotation and then like 10 minutes of Vando. Or maybe you'll get your off series. Like, I could see Vando playing a lot against OKC because even though I don't think there's a Shea matchup, he's probably the best Shea matchup you have. Where else could Vando probably slot in at pretty easily? A Clipper series, although I think the Lakers might just trust Dorian, Rui, and Braun in that scenario. And we're gonna get to you guys' questions and comments here in just a sec. I feel like they would just trust their core three in that scenario. Their key three wing guys. But then let's see. Yeah, I feel like they would just trust their core 3 or 4 wings that they already play a lot. And then like Minnesota, maybe he might be one of the few guys that can, match with Ant. That's about it, honestly. I don't think Vando, maybe Golden State, if they try to get a little creative schematically, but there's not a lot of series basically, especially in the West, where I see Vando playing a ton. So I feel like we know what we can expect out of Braun, Luka, and AR. But if you can get the shot making and the catch and shoot ability and the ability to make decisions off the catch from Rui, DFS, and Gabe, and then good defense and rim protection from Jackson Hayes, then yes, this team could win a title. But it's really going to come down to those 4 guys being consistent enough over a 16 game plus sample size to do that. All right, let's get to your questions and comments, guys. Fire them off in the chat. Once again, we're trying to hit 100 likes on the stream, so let's get a quick like spike. Would really, really appreciate it. Hit that like button for me, guys. And once again, while you guys are firing off your questions, super chats are the #1 guaranteed way to make sure you guys get your question answered live on the stream. So yeah, really, really, really would appreciate those. And then again, also fire off any other questions and comments you guys may have. We'll be in here for a while. Especially so we get, some more people in here. Maybe some people aren't honestly expecting us to be doing a post-game show, if you will. We'll be doing this a lot more in the playoffs. And then I know as soon as the Lakers basically wrap up their like as soon as we know the Lakers are gonna play in round 1, then I'll get Jovan on. Jovan will come on. No. Jovan will come on back on the show, excuse me. Jovan will come back on and we'll have another fun conversation regarding this Lakers team. But let's start off with a quick question. What team do I think is the worst first-round matchup for the Lakers? I talked about this actually. Quick plug, I guess, for Jovan. Quick plug for Jovan. I talked about this on the show with Jovan recently on Bulaw's Block. Go check that out on his channel. Like I said, he'll be back on probably early next week. Maybe even Sunday. Again, depends on if the seeding is solidified at that point, which I honestly doubt it will be. I think the Warriors are the worst first-round matchup out of any team for the Lakers. I think it's Golden State and then probably the Clippers. I think the Clippers are kind of getting slept on, actually. And Laker fans are going to hate that I'm saying that, but I really do think that the Clippers are a little slept on. They've been an offensive juggernaut since Kawhi's been healthy, and they've been like a top 5 defense all season long. Ivica Zubac is an all-star caliber big at this point. Not saying that there isn't. I think I would pick the Lakers in every single first-round matchup. But, for example, the Clippers would make that really, really tough, and I don't think the Clippers have gotten their fair share of credit. I think they've gone under the radar because of – I think the Clippers have gone under the radar because, one, I think some people are tired of their shtick of, we're going to scramble and get healthy at the last minute, or, oh, my God, we're really, really good, but we can't ever stay healthy. I think part of it is, like, people not wanting to get burned again by this Clippers group because it is, a pretty familiar group. You're just, swapping out Paul George for, Norman Powell, who's been way more productive than Paul George was this season. And then, an upgraded version of Ivica Zubac. So, but enough Clippers glaze. Those would be 7 Laker home games anyway. I think Golden State's the worst matchup for LA. I think all of the Warriors' strengths are theoretical Laker weaknesses. I think the biggest strength LA has is similar to almost any other scenario I think, we could potentially have a conversation about with the Lakers. And it's the Lakers just have too much firepower. And you would essentially, for me to feel even to remove my Laker bias even for a second and to feel good about Golden State winning a series with LA, I would have to say Jimmy Butler gets back to being 20 to 20 consistently 23 to 25 points like he can in the playoffs. He's shown in the playoffs, but he just hasn't shown that at all this season. He would have to get back to some sort of that level of play for me to look at Golden State and say they can match LA firepower wise. And if Thunder fans and NBA fans want to talk about, the Lakers shooting variance in their blowout win against the Thunder the other day, well, the Warriors had 8 made threes from Brand Pajemski, and nobody's saying shit about that being shooting variance. So, part of it's fluky, but legitimately, I think Golden State is a lot of the stuff Golden State does well are actual weaknesses for LA. So, Golden State will be the worst matchup. I think that the most favorable matchup is the Memphis Grizzlies. And then low-key Denver. Denver has a lot of negativity around them right now. We don't know the status of Jamal Murray. They just fired their head coach. There's some friction in the locker room, reportedly. I think Memphis and Denver will be the 2 teams I would actually prefer to see. And Denver can't guard LA at all. So that'll be my preference. Let's get a like spike, guys. Starting to get a lot more people in here. Yes, I'm actually here. So do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's go. Let's get a like spike. Let's get some people in here. Let's have some fun and celebrate a big time Lakers win. We got a super chat here from my guy Gabriel. Gabriel, much appreciated. Once again, super chats are your guaranteed way to get your question answered live on the air and great way to support myself and the channel. Gabriel asks, how do you feel about Jonathan Isaac for Gabe Vincent and Don Connect in the offseason? Both will benefit from this. Isaac would enhance LA's ability to go small to another level. Yeah, my immediate question, and you don't have to answer this with another super chat, but my immediate thought at the very least is, what do you do about your backup point guard spot? Are you already saying Bronny here, or do you have another person in mind? That's my immediate question. I think Gabe's ability to play on and off the ball offensively, be able to play off the catch with decent competence, and being a point of attack defender, probably their only guard point of attack defender, would be missed. Overall, though, I see your vision here. I definitely see the vision here by getting Jonathan Isaac. You have to bring back Dorian. I think Dorian's going to opt out. I think Dorian has the player option. So, saying Dorian opts out, you extend Dorian. Now you're just the biggest wing team ever. You guys remember the 2020 Raptors team where they were just loaded? Oh, not even that, the Raptors, yeah, but those Clippers teams too, even. Dog, they just had all the wings. I remember us, when I was at Laker Nation, ironically, we used to be jealous of the Clippers and just how the fact that they seemingly had every single wing on the planet. And this was right after the Blazers traded them Rocco and Norman Powell for a bag of Happy and Skittles. What was that deal? Wasn't it something stupid like Marcus Morris? Okay, I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I actually do want to know what that trade was. It was some BS. Oh, no, it was worse than that. It was Norman Powell, Rocco, in exchange for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and a 2025 second-round pick via the Pistons. And I think who did the Pistons take in the second round? I'm trying to remember who that second round pick turned into, but regardless, they got a rotation player to help them right then in Roka, and they got like a 20-point per game scorer in a couple of years as soon as they let go Paul George for a bag of Skittles. So, I see the vision though, man. You could run lineups with Braun, DFS, and Jonathan Isaac. Roko's not playing anymore, obviously. Yeah, but I'm saying at the time, like that was a highway robbery. And yeah, oh my gosh, you would just be the switchiest, most athletic team in the league. The Lakers have core defense, can also give a lot of teams some problems in their own right, especially these ISO-centric scorers, because of how they're going to zone up away from the ball and how they are able to rotate when they're locked in. I thought LeBron in the second half was super, super locked in. It was so infectious. I think Dorian Finney-Smith had a great second half defensively. The way this team can rotate and play on a string is honestly impressive for a team that was put together practically mid-season. Honestly, like impressive for this Lakers team. Carl Vance, heard you got a promotion for your coaching job. Congrats. You guys know the JJ Redick. I'm JJ Redick. You guys know the J. Cole meme where he's being interviewed and he his reply is like, how do you know about that? Who told you that? No, all seriousness, appreciate it. Going through the process right now. It's not official yet, but I think I have a really, really good shot of becoming our next head coach. So it'll be fun. Appreciate it though. Appreciate it. Regardless of how you know or who said something. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Sean's actually here. WTH. Yes, I'm here. In the flesh. Lakers struggles with team going small. Lakers struggle with teams, I guess, that can outsmall them. But like Golden State's a team that's just going to give them trouble. And I think like going small on Golden State doesn't affect them at all. Now, granted, LA size is also still probably bigger, but you can't really outsmall the Golden State Warriors. You just can't do that. Bubba says, what's your current coaching role? I'm just an assistant coach right now. I was the offensive coordinator for a team that went to the state championship game. Our head coach stepped down. He's retiring and going through the process right now. But like I said, I have a really good shot of becoming the next head coach. So we'll see. Feeling good, though. Mr. Powell, what's up? Sean, what a win. I'll be honest, I was worried when we went down, but Luka was a beast. I was hoping he wouldn't be emotional, especially after the video, but he killed it. What a win. Luka's the man. Again, I did this at the top, and this is a great way to get another like spike here as well. Can we just get a collective round of applause to Nico Harrison on a job well done? Hell yeah. Shout out Nico Harrison for gifting the love you, AD, but shout out Nico Harrison for just giving the Lakers another decade of brilliance. Thank you, Nico. LOL, your other co-host said it. Who other Tyler? Did he mention it on the pod? On the Who venue? Maybe I just skipped over that, but anyway, appreciate it. No, all seriousness, dog. Luka is a guy that I've talked about this in the past. I think I talked about this on the Jovan show. Luka's a guy that in the biggest games, specifically against teams where there's a little bit of personal animosity with them, the Clippers. It feels like Luka always kills the Clippers. The Timberwolves. I could be completely off base. It feels like Luka always kills the Timberwolves or the Thunder, the Nuggets at this point. Although that's not even personal. It's more so just Denver physically can't guard Luka. It feels like these emotional or these high stake games, Luka's always going to be there, man. He's always going to be there. the one of the more stupid media narratives over the past decade and a half is when, if to determine a player's status in a league, they had to have that it factor. And to a certain extent, okay, but like I thought it was one of the more overplayed, not even overplayed, more overused narratives in like all of sports coverage. But Luka Doncic has that it factor, bro. And like I said, in these like high stake games, Luka's like he's one of one. He's one of one for sure. Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the mid-level exception. Hopefully, I would love to see stagger lineups of AR, Braun, Luka, and Nah. I love Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I hope that. What's up, Art of War? I hope that Minnesota's just not gonna be able to pay him because they have to pay Naz Reid. That's what I'm hoping. Things like it factor or other buzzwords is just another way of saying they don't know ball. Yeah. Because then they would overanalyze the it factor thing. And then they'll say because this guy doesn't have it factor, he's not a top 5 quarterback. Or like that's just an example, but like okay, maybe the it factor is the separator from him being the 5th best quarterback to the best, but saying he does have it factor is what holds him back from being top 5, for example, to play with this narrative. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with it, honestly, is they would just over-index it. Gabriel says that's how I would solve the backup guard problem with the move like that. I like Nickeil Alexander-Walker a ton. I wonder if AD mad at LeBron, though. AD seemed like there's bad blood. I hope nothing's wrong. I love all the memories they made. Just seem weird. Honestly, I'm not going to look too much into it. I think they had their little moment pregame. They had their moment pregame. Postgame, when AD was dapping everybody up, Braun was doing his interview. Chad saying AD looked so nonchalant. I think AD's also equally pissed he got traded, but because he didn't play in the game in LA and this is Luka's night in Dallas, like I think I'm honestly not even shocked, honestly. I'm not gonna see, going back to the conversation about it factor, ironically, and overthinking some things. I'm not gonna like overhype and over analyze and critique a relationship between or say something's off between two people that have been like, I mean, best friends. I mean, they've described it as a real brotherhood they were teammates for 7 years. They've been friends for almost a decade. So I don't know. Maybe it was weird, but I'm just gonna choose not to look too much into that. Legit feel bad for AD having to prove fair value while with Luka while injured. Yeah, like imagine you're at a job, somebody comes back, and somebody that left on bad terms comes back, and everybody there is like, "Oh my God, welcome back. We love you. I can't believe they would ever do that to you or whatever." And you're just sitting there like, "Damn, well, I'm really good too, and I'm the guy that replaced him." Like, to be honest, like it doesn't surprise me. And again, AD didn't get to have his moment that Luka had. Like LA played the tribute video and whatnot in LA, but it just wasn't the same. One, because Luka is a Dallas guy, and two, because AD didn't play in LA. So it's just have Michael Malone to coach your team, LOL. Well, no, never mind. I was about to say something that's completely ass backwards. Never mind. Michael Malone, you could come take the job, and I'll take the job to be JJ Redick's personal coffee assistant. Sean, our defense sometimes looks so bad. We keep seeing glimpses of good defense, but no consistency, and we need some consistency from the bench in terms of scoring. That kind of goes to what I was saying earlier. Like, in order for the Lakers to really put together a 16-win stretch, you probably need you need your 4 non-Braun, Reeves, and Luka guys to be players. Honestly, you need those guys to be players consistently. Talking about Rui, talking about Gabe and Dorian and Jackson Hayes. Because Luka, Braun, and AR cannot score 90 points a night. Honestly, maybe they can. Who knows? Let's get another like spike, guys. We're already almost at our goal of 100 likes on the stream. Greatly appreciate it. We got at least another half an hour here. And we'll see how far we can take it. 80 points. Yeah, they could probably get 80. They actually could probably get 80. 90 actually doesn't even sound that unrealistic. Although, it'd be great if they didn't have to. But 90 isn't even that far off, honestly. Would I rather see Denver first round without Murray or a healthy Clippers? Easily Denver. Hell, Denver with a healthy Jamal Murray, give me them over the Clippers. Easily Denver. It's not even close. Jokic is a problem, and Jokic is still probably the biggest individual problem of any player in the league in terms of like game planning and preparing for him. I actually think if I had to do like top 5 hardest players to game plan for, it's probably Jokic, Giannis, Steph, Shea, Luka, probably. Healthy Embiid would be in the conversation. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. No, that would be it. Those would be the 5. And I get the no travel thing. Healthy Kawhi is a problem, but he's not the problem of those 5 to 6 guys I mentioned. Anyway, and I get the crosstown the crosstown thing, and the fact that you don't have to leave LA and yada yada. I completely understand that. But from an on-court basketball standpoint, again, like I said, Jokic is the problem. Probably still the toughest solve in the entire league. But they can't guard. Just flat out. They cannot guard, and they are going to lose. Like, what's Jokic's playoff minute average? How much does Jokic average minute-wise in the playoffs? Okay, Jokic last year averaged 40 minutes in the playoffs. With championship run, he averaged 39.5 minutes. Okay, follow me here for just a sec. As Jokic, Denver's going to have an all-time level offense basically whenever Jokic is on the floor. Okay, but for those 10 minutes, basically, Jokic is off the floor. Denver's offense goes to hell, basically. So let's look at this season. So far this season, with Nikola Jokic, if cleaning the glass will ever load. Okay. Is that right? The offensive rating number seems way too high. Hold on. I'm trying to prove my point here. Okay, Denver's offensive rating on the year is essentially 119. They're 4th. The only teams with a better offensive rating is OKC, Boston, Cleveland, the 3 best teams in the league for the entire regular season. Denver offensively, with Jokic on the floor, the Denver Nuggets this season, and really quickly in defensive rating, Denver is 19th now in defensive rating. Some other games happened, like Chicago played, Philly played, all those bad teams played. Denver is easily the weakest playoff defense by far. The next closest playoff defense is for the entire season is actually the Lakers. Now, if we go post All-Star break, Denver has the 22nd best defense, so the 8th worst defense. And the next closest defense would be Memphis in terms of playoff teams. Anyway, let's go back to our Denver discussion. Oh, my God. The Lakers are Denver is a plus 11 in all Jokic minutes this season, or possessions. They score 128 points per 100 possessions, which post All-Star break, let's go back. Totality of the entire season. 128 offensive rating would be the best off. I think that would be the best offensive rating of all time. The Nuggets had the best offensive rating of all time if we are only looking at Jokic minutes. Okay. If you take Jokic, now they are a bad defense with Jokic on the floor. They have a 117 defensive rating. You take Jokic off the floor, and they cannot score. They just flat out can't score anymore. You take Jokic off the floor. Their offensive rating, their defensive rating actually only gets 2 points better. They go from 117 to 115. And their offensive rating goes from 128 with Jokic on the floor to 106. 106 offensive rating would be the second worst offense in the entire league, only above the Washington Wizards. And for that reason, you're going to destroy Denver. You're going to win the 10 minutes without Jokic on the floor by a legit 12 points. And when Jokic is on the floor, you just pull him into every screening action. He can't guard you. So that is a long-winded way to answer the original question. And that is, Denver does not scare me at all. Yes, Jokic is a problem, but the Lakers have shown some capability to make things tough for Joker. And Denver just legitimately can't guard. So, long answer there. Apologies if I lost any of you there while I was ranting, talking about stats. Let's get a like spike here, guys. Hit that like button. We're almost there at 100 likes on the stream. Just hit that like button. What are you doing if you haven't done it already? Hit that like button, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Fire off any other questions you guys have in the chat. I'm gonna see if we have any updated news. I like how they put Bandor Rui on Jokic. Yeah, and the Lakers small ball is just gonna kill them. The Lakers small ball is just going to kill them in a 7-game series because they can't guard, and then you're spacing Jokic out even more defensively. And the Lakers have size with their wings to where they can switch. The Lakers small ball lineup is their smallest player 6'5", and that's Austin. It's 6'5", 6'7", 6'9", 6'9", 6'9", basically. It's not like lengthy 6'9". It's LeBron James 6'9". It's Luka 6'7". It's Dorian and Rui. Rui's probably the leanest of those guys, honestly. So yeah, like the Lakers have really, really, really good positional size, and that's why their small ball lineup works. Quick update on the standings. Every single team that the Lakers are potentially watching in the Western Conference are all winning right now. Golden State, the Clippers, and the Nuggets are all winning currently in their games. Golden State's up 9 on the Spurs. The Nuggets are up 16 on the Kings in the middle of the third quarter. And the Clippers are up 13 on the Rockets, who I would imagine aren't playing anybody. Yeah, nobody's playing for Houston. I'm hoping, although I highly, highly doubt it, I'm hoping that that the Rockets have this same mindset on Friday and nobody plays against LA. Should the Lakers just sit out players against the Rockets to just beat the Blazers in the final game? No. Go beat Houston. Go beat Houston so that you can have Sunday off. You get a break, an extended break leading into the playoffs. Beat Houston. I'm not taking any chances. And based off how JJ's talked, I think that's also going to be the case. How have I felt about Rui's off-ball defensive performance? It seems like he's improved. I'm going to give Rui his flowers. I think Rui has, taken noticeable steps defensively. I think Rui is for sure putting in more effort on that side of the ball. I think he's been more active with his rotations. And yeah, I think Rui's legitimately growing as a defensive player. And that's huge because now you can just keep him on the floor. OKC, no Shea. Phoenix is sad, man. Phoenix Suns are a sad franchise. I'm sorry. I just had to make fun at the expense of the Phoenix Suns for a second. Is Rui's knee really that messed up? I think they're just being precautious. They don't want him playing back to backs. I think that, and that's why he didn't play against the Rats. That's why he played against OKC. My bad. That's why he didn't play against OKC. And Bron has. This is the best LeBron has been defensively since Solomon Hill. This is the best LeBron James has been defensively easily since the Solomon Hill injury. Has he even been close? He had moments in the 23 playoffs, I think. I'm trying to remember that playoff run to the conference finals. I want to say Bron was fine in that playoff run, because wasn't the talk out of the 23 playoff run is how like LeBron's offense was suffering because of the foot injury, but he was still good enough defensively? Was that the conversation around that 23 run? Chat, remind me. I can't recall. I know last year he was pretty mediocre in the playoffs. And mediocre might be a little bit nice. But last year in the playoffs, offensively, Bron was great. So, yeah, LeBron being a two-way player at age 40 is ridiculous. And last time Bron made a first-team All-NBA team would have been, I don't know if he made it actually, but LeBron, last time he played this good defensively, he was an MVP candidate. Just saying. Last time LeBron was playing this good defensively, he was an MVP candidate. He's not going to win it, but I think Bron has deserved a couple of votes. He's earned like a 5th place vote. I don't think he's going to be a finalist or anything like that, but top three team in the West in the tougher conference. I don't know. Let me cook, chat. Let me cook. All right, let's get back to some of our questions here in the chat. Carlos says LeBron saw some 40-year-old turnovers. Yeah, the funniest thing in the world to me is when Luka or Bron make this absurd pass and like Rui can't catch it. That's the funniest. Or like Dorian, I feel like I picked on Rui. It'll happen to Dorian. It'll happen to Gabe. Like they'll make this absurd pass and they'll put all the extra sauce on the pass, and Rui or Gabe or Dorian or somebody on the team, they just like physically can't catch it. It's the funniest thing in the world. But then also Bron will just have some clumsy turnovers from time to time. Non-Laker question: do I think the Lakers should the Knicks should move on from Tibbs? I wouldn't say move on from Tibbs, although I mean at this point, hell, coaches are getting fired for less. I don't know. I do think that is a high pressure situation and they have to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which I don't think they do, but they damn near got to make it there. They damn near have to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry, to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Suns have more finals appearances and conference finals appearances than any other fan base that's never won, any other franchise that's never won a title. There we go. Do the Minnesota Vikings of basketball? Damn. Do I think Cleveland will come back in time for any of the playoffs? I think so. I actually think Cleveland can even further unlock, especially if the shots falling. I think Cleveland can even potentially further unlock the Lakers' half-court offense. I'm sorry, not their half-court offense. I mean that too, but the small ball lineup in particular is what I'm referring to here. Let's see. Couple more comments here. Almost there. One last like spike before we get out of here, guys. If they lose to Detroit, if they lose in the first round, then yeah, he's probably gone. Tibbs has a definitive ceiling as a coach is not championship ceiling. I agree with this. I think with Tibbs, you're always going to be a really good regular season team. You're almost always going to win a playoff series. But at some point, the way Tibbs plays catches up with the teams he coaches at the worst times possible. And it always seems to happen right before the West, right before like the conference finals, or right before, like, okay, last year it was in the second round when they're up 2-0 on Indiana. I want to say they're up 2-0 on Indiana. It just always happens at the worst timing, with the worst timing. So yeah, I think this is fair. Why does everyone think Luka regressed? He's easily one of the top 3 players in the NBA still. I think the Luka regression thing is very, very clearly just has to do with his rim pressure numbers. His drives per 75 possessions are most notably down this season. And then if you look at his 2-point scoring and his 2-point volume, those are both down this season. Luka, as a Laker, I don't know if this accounts for tonight's game, is a 48% 2-point scorer in a Laker jersey, which would be his career low, actually. By a good, I didn't know it was that low, actually. Luka's 2-point scoring would be a career low by about 4.5%. His previous career low was 2022, where he shot 52.7% on twos. Wait. Sorry. Career low, 50% his rookie year. His second lowest would be 2022, 52.7%. And as a Laker, he's at 58% on twos. And then rim frequency, it only keeps getting lower and lower. He's back on par to what it was last season. 15% of his shot attempts were at the rim last season at a 75% clip. As a Laker, it's at 16% at the rim shot. 16% of his shot attempts are at the rim, and finishing at a 65% clip. So I think, and I'm not trying to bore you guys with numbers, but I do think when we talk about Luka's regression, in air quotes, I think that is where the conversation is at the very least. I can at the very least explain why it's a conversation, and that's really what it is. It's the fact that Luka isn't the quickest anymore, and at 26, he's already kind of becoming really, really jump shot reliant, which naturally is somewhat concerning. Now, providing a little bit of bail for Luka, I'd be curious to see what his drive rate was as a Laker. I do feel like he's been he's pretty aggressive driver. I think it's just led to more playmaking opportunities for Luka. And then also, actually, Luka he was hurt last year at the end of the year, didn't get a full summer, comes back, gets hurt with the worst injury of his career mid-season this year. I almost wonder if we are going to get, and I keep comparing him to Bron, and we've had this conversation about this version of Bron a lot already. I almost wonder if we get kind of a similar situation to 2023 Bron, where he kind of rushes back, and he's clearly hobbled the rest of the season and into the playoffs. But then next season he comes back and he's like, oh, okay. Because remember the conversation around Bron in that 2023 playoff run, the conference finals year? The conversation was, dog, Bron's jumper is gone. He can't hit shit. We're in some trouble. And then he just legitimately couldn't get any lift off the ground. He takes the summer off, gets his foot back right, gets his body back right, and LeBron's been a 40% catch-and-shoot three-point shooter for 2 years now. He's been a damn near a 40% three-point shooter in general for 2 years now. So I'm going to hold out some hope and say that Luka, honestly, with the full offseason, just comes back and he's completely fine. And we get back to that 20-ish% number. And we get back to more of our career average numbers on 2-point scoring. So, Bron still has a foot injury and a groin issue. Yeah. Although the groin wasn't necessarily related. But the foot injury, yeah, sure, it'll be a nagging thing for Bron. But the whole point of me bringing that up is the fact that we were all talking about the fact that Bron had no lift in that playoff run. Yeah, because he was like actively hurt. But then the next season, he comes back with a full off season. Bron at 40, like he can have a full off season and he'll still probably feel it. But the point is, like, he had a full off season of rest, and that was important. And he was in the gym and he was able to, get his lift back and get the shot back. Let's see. Luka is the exact player build that doesn't need insane explosiveness to succeed at the highest level. He just has insane footwork and can outsmart the defense all day. Yes. Now, granted, I would just prefer Luka to get to the rim more then, because I don't even think you're wrong. You're not ever wrong. I just think that there's legitimate concerns. There are some concerns, and again, I understand, even though I don't agree with all of them. I understand why some people are like, yeah, Luka's regressed. I'm not agreeing with it, but he doesn't get to the rim as much. He's not as effective as of a driver. He's not as effective as a 2-point scorer. So, man, I can't lie. Jackson, shout out Jackson. I can't lie. Seeing AD phase out of the game was painful to watch. Shout out JJ. I think that's the other thing about JJ too. JJ Redick has shown on several occasions his ability to game plan and prepare for individual matchups. That's why I'm so excited for the playoffs, guys. Once the playoffs are announced, we'll probably have a live show of some sort. I'll do a film breakdown previewing. If you guys did, I hate that I keep talking about them. But if you guys did follow my previous work with Lakers Nation, you know that especially during the Western Conference Finals run, I did a lot of film breakdowns and a lot of stuff talking about the Lakers matchups and what things will look like and what things are currently looking like. So for the playoffs, once we get an idea of who their first round matchup will be, see what the potential matchups will be, diving into the film and breaking down some of the X's and O's heading into those matchups and potentially game to game throughout the series. And then Jovan, I'll have a series preview with Jovan at some point. Sunday, Monday, again, depends on how much stuff gets finalized. And then you guys can also expect more of these live shows, especially at post games. Let me guys know what you guys prefer. Do you guys prefer I might have to put a tweet or like a community poll out there. Do you guys prefer the post game shows? Sorry, do you guys prefer the live shows to be post-game style, like the night of the game or, immediately following the game? Or do you guys prefer like kind of being the day after, which is what I did for the OKC game, I think, the first OKC game. And I feel like the response was a little bit better, and there's a lot of people that do post-game shows, so don't know if you need to do one, so we'll see. I'll let you guys, help decide that as well. After the game, not going to lie. Okay. I'll put a poll up, and I might just have to do a better job of promoting it, honestly. After the game. Okay. We're getting a decent amount of after the games from Twitter and YouTube. So that'll do it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in here. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe here to the channel. Liking the Hoop Venue Pod, Sean, but pushing 2 hours. Not every episode's 2 hours. That one was 2 hours because we were talking. It was our all NBA selections. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to take that long. We spent a large portion of time talking about like the all NBA teams and the all defensive teams, which was a fun conversation. Go check it out. But with that being said, hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. Follow me on X/Twitter at Sean_DAVI. And as always, guys, go Lake Show. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Go Luka. Peace out.